Another day at EBGames. I mean, we're called GameStop. I quit. What? So at the time of filming, I have already left the job a while ago at this point. I'm recording this on the date listed below. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this, so if there seems to be a jump in my hair or something, that's generally why. And I wanted to take this moment to actually reflect. I was there for quite a while with the company and during all the lockdowns. And it's really neat to watch when I got hired, which was 2014 in the fall, to when I just left this year, to how the company changed from, they were really fixated on games and used titles, and then slowly watched that fade away as more and more of the store got crunched away. As much as I'd love to talk about that, that's not what I want to talk about here. I just want to talk about how the positives of how working there actually was. Because to be honest, throughout all the garbage, when you get past it, at the end of the day, it's who you're working with and who you immediately work for. And in my lucky case, I had an absolutely wonderful manager who was generally really understanding, and you could talk to him about just about anything that was going on, because he wanted to make sure you were okay before the store, which was good. Whether that had detriments on his health and he was working by himself, that was his own personal choices. But if you really weren't up for it, he was always willing to help. And I am one of those people where I will say, as bad as I know as the company could be, as I had seen it when I would help other stores, in this case, I had a really great boss. And I had known him for so long. How I got hired is its own goofy mess. When I got hired, I wasn't even supposed to be hired. There was somebody who got a promotion, and me and him were talking as I was paying off a pre-order around that time. And we were just goofing off, having a chat, and all of a sudden he just goes, "Oh, I never put you through my interview gauntlet?" And I tell him, "No." And he's like, "Oh man, you're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be really fun. Are you free on Saturday? Pop on in." It wasn't meant to be an interview. Even himself will state to me that the initial intention was just for a laugh and to train his new assistant manager. What ended up happening during that interview was an interview that was supposed to take, 20 minutes, half hour, ended up taking like a solid 2 hours because the store was really busy and we kept getting interrupted. So that alone was pretty funny. I even had some employees who were working there be special guests during my interview as we were all laughing in the back of the store. And at some point, that actually became a real interview. Instead of us just goofing around when we hit the scenarios, we just ended up actually going through proper scenarios on what I would actually do. I stopped giving such goofy answers and actually legitimately answered his questions for some reason. I don't know what happened or what flipped. Neither one of us really know the answer. But what we do know is apparently I answered them very well. So I got hired, even as a temp staff. He figured, it'll be funny for the holidays. Fast forward to the end of it, and he's like, "Do you actually want to continue working here?" And I said, "Yeah." Which turned out to be a really fun job to have while I was in school for what I was going for. And it was a great experience. It was a great separation from what I was studying in school to going and talking about video games for most of the time, which was absolutely awesome at the time. And I did get to see that transition of, hey, games, to games, okay, yeah, we got Funkos everywhere in the store, and half the store now is this. And then watching consoles get cut out and picking up weird things, because one thing I'll tell you while working there is you do end up not playing the popular things anymore. When people are like, "Oh, you like Call of Duty?" I'm like, "No, I play all the things you've never heard of in your life." And that was fun. And considering that it was 8 years of my time there, none of it, I think, was wasted. Even during the lockdowns when nobody was visiting the store and we were sitting there in lawn chairs in the store because no one could come inside, it was a good time. I'd sit there and we'd play Switch, or I was playing something on my DS. It was an excellent time, and you got to chat with people because a lot of people were chat starved with the lockdown. So it was great to kind of, during the summer, when it was a little warmer in Canada, have the doors open and you could just kind of chit-chat through the door. It was a good time. And even every coworker I've ever met. I worked Fan Expo for this company. It was great. I had a wonderful time. There's one person we even refer to as the EBGames mom. They've also left the company. And there's a couple other people who I've met who are wonderful people, and they've all slowly left. Now, I'm not saying the people who are there now are bad. It's just the people I know, most of them have moved on, and it is now also my time to move on. And the one thing I'll tell you while working there, this will happen to you whether you want it or not, is there will be some game on that loop tape that will drive you absolutely batty. Absolutely insane. Because it's on there 3 times and it's about a 45-minute loop. And for me, the one that still stands out to this day is Etron Odyssey 2 Untold. I had to listen to this theme song for months because it kept getting delayed. It was supposed to come out at the beginning of the summer and it didn't come out till the end of the summer. So it was on there from like February, March, kicked around to like October, and then it popped back up again around Christmas. And the theme song is still stuck in my head. It's great. I love it. And I came across this copy when I got a store to ship us some products, and this was in there, so I just figured, heck, I'm gonna pick it up. So that is a game you literally pick up because, you know what, it frustrated you, but now, even as I knew I was leaving, this game is weirdly charming to me. For whatever reason, Etron Odyssey Untold 2 is just a game that I'll forever link to working at that store. Having great coworkers and just a wonderful time being there. And not every time it was great. There was stuff that really sucked. There was decisions I didn't agree with that they would backtrack on because they just didn't work. And they were like, this is going to be it. And they had to backtrack. But I'm not here to criticize the company. I'm just here to talk about my fun experience working there. And if there's anything I would say is, I know there's a lot of hate for EBGames. Well, now it's just GameStop, even in Canada. But I don't think it's the worst thing on the planet. Sometimes it's just not where you want to be when you're working there. But I enjoyed my coworkers, anyone who I had worked with. You guys were absolutely wonderful. And I'll miss being able to talk to you when I needed to do a SKU check calling the other stores. And on my last day, it was really awesome because it kind of turned into, I got a sprinkling of everything I loved and hated about retail all in one day. The customer who wanted you to tell them what they wanted to buy. The customer who was a regular and you gave them a hug because you told them you were leaving and it was a pleasure serving them the entire time. Which, to any of you who happen to be watching, yeah, no, I really did mean that. You guys were awesome. If I genuinely even had a 5-minute conversation with you, you probably made my day. Especially if it was around the holiday and I even got 5 minutes to talk to you. You guys were great. And it's something I'm gonna miss because it's really the regulars that really help working there awesome. Like just those little conversations or goofy things you did while working. Like for me and my boss, we always had a game of making puns out of things. And it got really bad some days, and it was awesome when customers would join in too. And it was a great experience watching the end of the PS3 cycle to the end of the PS4 cycle, going into the PS5. And just seeing the dramatic changes in people's shopping habits, and remembering how everyone dumped on the Wii U. And I was like one of 5 people that bought it. It was a great time. I enjoyed my time there. I was always the Nintendo guy working there, and I'll continue to defend those systems, even if, hey, let's admit, the Wii U wasn't that great, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. But anyways, guys, I want to leave this note on a bit of a fun, nostalgic note. If you're working there, you guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. If you haven't worked there, just be nice to the guys behind the counter. But anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Take care. Have a good one. And you know what? I'm going to leave you with the music that I had to listen to on that loop tape for 8 months. Take care.
Go をした君の切なさ気づいてた。さまよい歩く世界でいつも視線の